Somehow the pamphlet makes it so much more nerve-wracking than just reading some poems. Oh my god, my dog's not even barking. It's wild. He's just by my feet. Okay. So I wasn't sure what to read because I feel like a lot of these are greatest hits that I've read a bunch of times. And perhaps foolishly, I decided to try and do something that was more like an overview of the movement of the pamphlet rather than just like the the my sort of like absolute favorite most me poems. So maybe I'm digging my own grave. Who knows? So the first one is The First Time They Want You. And this is one of, there's quite a few sort of coming of age poems at the beginning of the pamphlet. The First Time They Want You. You are at a funeral the first time a man tells you you've grown into a fine young woman. Or does he say budding? The man is old. He is probably related to you, but who knows? All old men look the same. At dinner in the hotel, the meat looks like tongues and tastes like grass, tastes like braces in someone else's mouth. It has been said recently, budding, and you can't stop thinking of the word and of what might grow from it and from you, of how last time the family was together like this, you sat under the table with your cousins and ate, and now you want to go outside and taste the night air. You want to drink what your mother is drinking, the wine staining her teeth. You touch the lamb on your plate, press a finger in to watch the blood snake into your nail. You are laying on hands. You will think the animal back to life. Imagine it coming together at the table, a surprised sheep wet from rebirth, wool matted. In the hotel room, you hang out of the window smoking, and your shoulders are cold above your dress. You are so full of spit and blood, and it is moving so fast. If you had placed a hand over your grandmother's face and let it all rush to your palms, oh, I missed one. You are so you are so full of spit and blood, and it's moving so fast. And you wonder about if this thing had been an open casket, if you had placed a hand over your grandmother's face and let it all rush to your palms. You felt the men follow you like they follow food, their eyes yellow and hungry. They want to open dark mouths and take you in. They want to stop your photosynthesis, but you have turned your face to the sky, to all the stars visible out here in the country. You blow smoke through chapped lips. You know there are more stars than you can count. You know the longer you look up, the more you will see. You wonder why you decided to look up. You wonder why you would ever look away. Okay, I'll get into it. I'll relax. Okay. um, and this is kind of from the middle. I don't know. I haven't written a lot of poems about eating disorders, about my eating disorders, because it's kind of a mawkish, overdone subject. It's hard to write well about. There are a couple in here, and I've got a couple of CNF pieces. But this, yeah, this I think is my best attempt. There have been many times food has been like. Once, a Turkish grandmother showed me how to smash the pit of an apricot after I'd sucked the flesh from it and removed the almond inside. I was told at her family's kitchen table every morning to eat more, but I didn't know what this meant. I said I'm full, but I didn't know what this meant either. I brought a stone down on the pit between sticky fingertips, and some part of me hoped to crush myself and find my seed, my pulp. She said, eat, eat, or she said it with her hands, lifting them to her mouth and waiting for me to follow the instruction before she slipped the fruit's small white heart past her own lips. Do you know how good food can taste? I have never thought about sex half as much as I have about a slice of toast. This is not supposed to be funny, but it is. I had a friend years later who worked at a health food store and told me that people were dying from the cyanide in apricot pits. The right amount is supposed to cure cancer. The wrong amount will kill you. When I walked circles around my city, on every bridge I thought I would fall lighter than a thrown set of keys, could float up and over the railing even. This is the closest I have felt to God's, lying awake with the memory of fruit and every healthy thing around me sleeping peacefully. The way the bruises on my body from where it touched itself were like a language, but no one I presented my skin to could read them. I am not saying I would go back. I know starving is solid rock painted to look like an apricot grove, and I know I have swallowed too many pits already. I am just saying there have been many times hunger has been like a cut tether. All right, and this one is about America, and it is very American, and it's it's quite hard to read given my current strangely nervous state. I will screw it up. also drank all my water, so I have to drink the very boozy drink. So I lived in a small college town in Southwest Virginia called Blacksburg, and this is about that. Champ's Bar and Cafe on a Tuesday night and all the rest. 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. Glowing cherries bob by the bar, where there's 150 paps, 50-cent wings, and whole packs of Camels sucked down. This is tobacco country, so we can't see for smoke. The TVs are warm and lonely, and the PBR is warm and popular, and my arms are burned all over with perfect little circles. One of them cooked right down to the white fat, turned it black-edged. That will stay. This is coal country. Men round here used to die properly from whatever mines do to you. Now this. Making the best of cigarette smoke and TVs, counting breaths in and out, and counting sets of college kids passing through on longer journeys, and counting $50s, and counting touchdowns, warm and lonely, and knowing every barman in town by name, but through a veil, and grown sons across the street, shooting perfect games of darts while chewing on fentanyl patches. This is opioid country. The other day, a deer leapt in front of my car outside Kroger on a 4-lane highway, and we both stopped, trembling flesh, and we looked at one another like, whoa. And then it turned and moved on. Quick as a flash, it was behind the big box store, and I was along 460 where there's Barnes, all Trump 2020, and there's the cowboy store with the bolting horse bolted down, the 30-foot cross made from white siding, and the long straight dip that glimmers all summer with what isn't there. This is Jesus country. I take my eyes from the road, and sure, I see God. I see ridgelines like sleeping legs, skies like open mouths, see the mist settle over the mountains like a wing, and below that, it's all blue as cigarette smoke. Actually, I did a great job of that. Barely screwed it up at all. And my boyfriend bought me some water. These two are both sad little poems, written at very kind of opposing times. The first one was written on holiday on a big trip in Central America, and the second was written in what felt like the depths of lockdown. It's the only lockdown is the only poem that late that's in this collection, not collection, whatever, book. But they have somehow a lot of similarities. And the second one is only more melancholy now that we know that we have actually been trapped at home for I think I wrote this in April 2020. Anyway, but I'm not doing that one first. I'm doing cat. Okay. Cat. There was this cat with one ear missing and a hole right to its brain. I had never seen a brain like that before, in a head cracked open. I've seen them in jars and at meat markets covered in flies sometimes, and blood everywhere across tiles designed to show it off, but I'd never seen a brain still in use. We said nothing as we walked past. The cat meowed, the cat went about its business, and we went about ours. We were on holiday. The cat cleaned its one ear. There was a breeze block nearby. We didn't have to say, should we? We knew we wouldn't. It was minutes later on another street that you said, maybe we should have put it out its misery. I said, it wasn't in misery. You said, it will be, though. We went to find dinner and then the sea. Okay, and now this is living through history. Living through history. I change the water my cutting is floating in, rub its stem clean, careful of the new teeth root buds pushing out for life. I try rye flour with my starter, which has been breathing for years and bubbles away quite blind in the cupboard. I'm on the phone to the credit card people and the debt collection people, and they are working from home, so can't actually take bank details right now. Though I am staying out of bed, I dream of an airport pint. A pint on the way between a place and another place. A pint I can't afford. Lying to a stranger with a wedding ring about my name and what I do. Ofsted inspector, hairdresser, double glazing sales. The dog shits on someone's lawn, and I can't find a bag. The cutting is doing a slow kind of well. Cuttings exist in cutting time, sometimes nothing for days or weeks. My final wisdom tooth is pushing through, and I'm almost 30. We eat box mac and cheese from a mixing bowl, add too much butter. Longing is a liar and always has been. The sunset from the windowsill is thin and iridescent as seashells. The sky is an embarrassed ear. There are no aeroplanes, not even trails of white where there used to be. Thank you, guys.